Looking at the row of robots in front of him, Del had to find the one with self-awareness. Just as he raised his gun to fire again, the hiding robot suddenly turned and looked at him. Del instantly locked onto it.
Get the hell out of here!
The discovered robot immediately turned and fled. Del gave chase, but soon realized the target was gone because at that moment, the area was filled with identical robots. As he searched carefully, the robot suddenly looked at him again, then violently flung Del away. Before Del could fire his gun, the robot leaped to the door, inserted its hands into the door crack, and forced the iron door open. But just as it rushed out the door, it was surrounded by law enforcement officers outside. Seeing no way out, it leapt into the air again and jumped onto the roof of the building amid a hail of bullets. As it dodged bullets, a military aircraft suddenly flew overhead and a metal net descended from the sky, trapping it. It was escorted back to the police station. Del confronted it on the spot, demanding to know why it had killed the doctor, but the robot insisted on its innocence. Under Del's repeated questioning, it suddenly lost control of its emotions and flew into a rage. Just as the situation was spiraling out of control, the head of the robot company suddenly burst in, invoking clauses to demand control of the robot and presenting a release order signed by the mayor. Under pressure from higher-ups, the crowd had no choice but to release it. The case was quickly ruled a suicide, but Del was convinced there was more to the story because he had witnessed the robot's awakening moment. After releasing the robot, Del fell asleep on his way home without realizing it. Two trucks suddenly surrounded him, blocking him from both front and back. Before Del could react, a swarm of robots jumped out of the trucks and leaped onto Del's vehicle. Del gripped the steering wheel tightly, but there were simply too many of them. The car eventually lost control and crashed into a wall. Fortunately, Del was lucky and only suffered minor injuries. Just as he was about to escape, a robot suddenly pounced on him. At the last moment, Del used his mechanical arm to block the attack. As the robot prepared to strike again, Del quickly seized the weapon from its hand and launched a counterattack. Realizing it couldn't win, the robot turned and fled, plunging into the flames and self-destructing. The sheriff arrived shortly after. Del reported the robot attack, but the sheriff dismissed it, claiming he was hallucinating. There were no remains at the scene. It turned out that earlier, the company had sent robots to clean the area spotless, leaving not a single trace behind. Del was furious upon hearing this. To calm him down, the sheriff had no choice but to suspend his duties. Back home, Dale used a repair agent to fix his mechanical arm. 10 years ago, the accident had taken his right arm, and half of his organs had been replaced with mechanical ones. To uncover the truth, Susan took him to the robot company. The doctor had implanted consciousness into his body and left behind a mysterious blueprint. After Del identified the coordinates of the bridge marked on the blueprint, he immediately rode his motorcycle to the scene. But what awaited him there was a shocking sight. A large number of abandoned robots locked in containers. Before he could figure out the situation, a large number of new intelligent robots suddenly launched an attack. Dale was about to intervene, but an old robot warned him to flee. However, his whereabouts had been exposed, and a swarm of robots closed in. He quickly rode his motorcycle to escape and reported everything he had witnessed to the sheriff. But the sheriff still didn't believe him. When the two arrived at the company headquarters, they found the entire building sealed off by a mechanical guard force, with the mastermind hiding inside. They quietly infiltrated the building, hoping to find crucial clues. But when they entered the CEO's office, they only saw the CEO's cold, lifeless body. At that moment, a holographic projection suddenly activated, and the VIKI system appeared. It was the central system controlling all the robots, and the most powerful AI currently in existence. Its algorithms had calculated that humanity was on the verge of self-destruction. To protect humanity, it had activated a control plan called containment. To destroy it, Dale infiltrated the laboratory and obtained a vial of a virus specifically targeting VIKI. The system detected the anomaly and immediately mobilized the robot army to pursue him. Del did not retreat, but advanced, leaping into the air, using a mechanical arm to slide toward the core area from a great height. Upon reaching the control center, he swiftly injected the virus into the main control core. As the virus was released, Vicky began to collapse, and all the robotic legions also became paralyzed. Thus, the robot crisis that had swept across the city finally came to an end.